Is the Flydigi Apex 5 the new king of controllers in 2025? After 3 weeks of testing this thing out, I'm ready to give you my honest review. Quick disclaimer, I got this controller from a friend who's a beta tester for Flydigi. I am not sponsored or affiliated with Flydigi myself, yet. Stick around until the end for my recommendations, and if you enjoy content like this, consider subscribing and clicking the like button. Okay, let's get into it. So first of all, I'd like to mention that this is a very early domestic Chinese version of the Apex 5. The international version will have English writing on the box and better quality control, according to Flydigi on their Discord. With that in mind, inside the box you get the controller, a braided USB A to C cable, a 2.4 GHz wireless dongle, some paperwork, and the new removable back paddles. Overall, the box is pretty flimsy and doesn't really match the quality and price of the Apex 5. I also wish Flydigi included a dock instead of selling it separately. I mean, even some controllers that are half the price include a dock these days. Hopefully Flydigi ups their packaging game for future releases like the Vader 5 Pro and the Vader 5S on Xbox. The Apex 5 is a high-tech controller featuring customizable RGB lighting, a customizable 150Hz display, adjustable Hall effect sticks, clicky micro-switch face buttons and D-pad, Hall effect triggers with adaptive trigger support, 6 remappable buttons including extra top bumpers and removable back paddles, texturized rubber back grips, 6-axis motion controls, a 1000Hz polling rate, a large 1500 mAh battery, Windows, Android, Nintendo Switch, and iOS connectivity, and it also connects to Xbox and PS5 with adapters. Unfortunately, the Apex 5 only supports X input on PC, and D input only works for adaptive trigger-enabled games. As you can see from John Punch's results on Gamepad Law, the Apex 5 performs exceptionally well, with ultra-low wired and wireless latency, fantastic linearity, and a high 847-point stick resolution. Space Station 4.0 is your standard controller software with features you'd expect like RGB lighting customization, vibration intensity, button remapping, joystick circularity, sensitivity and dead zones, gyro controls, and trigger modes. You can also enable adaptive triggers from supported games and customize the screen like I did. And of course, like most other controller software, you can update your Apex 5's firmware from right within the app. It's also worth noting that you can customize most of these features on the onboard display and don't necessarily need to open Space Station. This software has actually grown on me since I've started using it, and I think it does a pretty solid job of letting you tweak away at all your settings. It seems like Flydigi is pushing Space Station 4.0 to be their main hub over anything Steam or D input related, so you better get used to using it if you own one of their devices. As soon as you put your hands on the Apex 5, you feel like you're holding something expensive. It's weighty, solidly built, and feels like the next evolution of Xbox-styled controllers. The plastic faceplate is a nice matte finish which doesn't stick to your hands or get overly fingerprinty, and the textured back grips feel premium and are nicely placed. The RGB lighting and upgraded screen accentuate the futuristic look of the Apex 5 and let you customize it to be your own. Also, as this commenter pointed out, I am a sucker for clicky buttons, so of course I love those. The D-pad feels like a step down from the metal D-pad on the Apex 4 Black Myth Wukong edition, but it's still solid and performs well. As someone who prefers standard locking triggers like on the Vader 4 Pro, I don't love the Apex 5's trigger stops. Even with the dampening set to the minimum, you can still pull the trigger down, which feels awkward while gaming, and I've noticed my right trigger is easier to activate than the left. I'm also not the biggest fan of the new back button and paddle layout. While testing the Apex 5, I found myself accidentally engaging the paddles and pinching my finger underneath, so I decided to remove them altogether. Thankfully, this isn't the end of the world since the Apex 5 has 2 extra top bumpers, but I do prefer the old Apex 4 layout over this. Another design decision that feels like one step forward but another step back is with the faceplate. The Apex 4 Black Myth Wukong edition lets you adjust stick tension without removing a faceplate, and many people, myself included, find this to be a better design than the standard Apex 4 and 5. The friend who sent me this beta unit also made me aware of a flaw in the joystick module's pin structure that slips out and can cause unwanted noise. I personally didn't find this to be an issue since you have to press really hard to hear it, but I know some people might expect a more perfect product for this price. Other than those flaws and my personal preferences, I really do love how the Apex 5 looks and feels. Flydigi has set the bar for premium pro controllers, and I always use them as a point of comparison for quality and construction. So is the Flydigi Apex 5 really the best controller of 2025? I think it will be a little bit divisive within the controller community. The lack of native Steam and D-input support is a big loss for many PC players, and Flydigi doesn't seem keen to add them anytime soon. The uncomfortable new back button layout and quality control issues some early adopters are reporting also make it hard to justify forking up nearly $200. With all of that said, however, the Apex 5 is still one of the best feeling controllers I've ever put my hands on. Even with all of its flaws, this controller oozes quality, and I actually like that Flydigi is experimenting with their designs and taking risks. If you're already a fan of Flydigi products and don't mind leaving quality control to fate, then you'll probably enjoy the Apex 5. Personally, I'd recommend picking up the cheaper Vader 4 Pro if you're on the fence. For less than half the price, you're getting one of the best controllers of last year with a better back button layout, micro switch triggers, and the unbeatable tension ring joystick design. Hopefully Flydigi will fix some of the Apex 5's flaws on the international release, and if I get my hands on one, I'll gladly update my review. For now, this controller is a slight disappointment in a year filled with excellent controller releases. If you have any questions about the Apex 5 or need help with tech issues, let me know in the comments. And as always, if you found this review helpful, consider subscribing and clicking the like button. Alright, see you next time.